Bring you, Mr. Uncle.
You don't want a response from me?
No, I'll get it from you. Just chew on this. Please do. Oh, you want him to respond quickly?
Because as far as I'm concerned,
I don't have a problem.
Okay.
I haven't said anything different.
Right.
All I'm saying is that those part-head matters that the vacation judges are handling, typically, as far as I know, my practice recollection is that the judges will indicate that, look, I'm sitting during the vacation. So if you are minded, available to hear those cases, otherwise then we adjourn to next term.
Right.
Some judges are minded. Most adjourn all part-head matters to the next term and deal with only intolerance, because they can be daunting.
Even to the extent that even
you go to court during vacation, and all these applications from all the various courts are coming before one judge or two vacation judges across the country. You should experience it for yourselves. So typically, part-head cases are not dealt with during the vacation. In any event, the lawyers have indicated that, look, I'm taking my vacation consistent with the rules. The judges are enjoined to defer the matters to the next term and do day by day. Nobody has an issue.
Let me ask you this. If
but you insist.
Oh, okay, all right.
I can hear you can ask me.
No, but no problem. Carry on.
Yes.
I don't have a problem.
No, I wanted to ask whether if a lawyer is not available to render services to their client, whether the courts can go ahead and hear the matter, or whether they are under obligation to stop hearing the matter.
That's what Chibonga is my mate. Easy. We're called to the bar the same day.
Okay.
He's a very good friend of mine. But I think that he'll be breaching the fair trial rules if he insists that in the absence of the lawyers, it's going to continue. I think so.
Because I'm told there's actually there's actually a decided case.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the case is yours, but
where the judge said, look, with or without a lawyer.
But of course, in most cases, those things are set aside. Okay, and I agree with your case.
Yeah.
But the Constitution also grants you the right to choose a lawyer to argue your cases for you. In this case, they have lawyers on record who have indicated their unavailability during the statutory vacation period. I'm saying all that has to be done is to grant them their right so the matters can be continued in the new term beginning October 1st. They can do 24-hour economy in that regard. I don't have any issues with that. But to insist that by all means they should come to the courts during vacation for these matters to be continued is really, really, really needless. And the brouhaha that is.
Bring you, Mr. Uncle.
You don't want a response from me?
No, I'll get it from you. Just chew on this. Please do. Or you want him to respond quickly?
Because as far as I'm concerned,
I don't have a problem.
Okay.
I haven't said anything different.
Right.
All I'm saying is that those part-head matters that the vacation judges are handling, typically, as far as I know, my practice recollection is that the judges will indicate that, look, I'm sitting during the vacation. So if you are minded, available to hear those cases, otherwise then we adjourn to next term.
Right.
Some judges are minded. Most adjourn all part-head matters to the next term and deal with only intolerance, because they can be daunting. You go to court during vacation and all these applications from all the various courts are coming before one judge or two vacation judges across the country. You should experience it for yourselves. So typically, part-head cases are not dealt with during the vacation. In any event, the lawyers have indicated that, look, I'm taking my vacation consistent with the rules. The judges are enjoined to defer the matters to the next term and do day by day. Nobody has an issue.
Let me ask you this.
If but you insist.
I thought you was.
Oh, okay, all right. I
can hear you can ask me.
No, but no problem. Carry on. Yes. I don't have a problem.
No, I wanted to ask whether if a lawyer is not available to render services to their client, whether the courts can go ahead and hear the matter, or whether they are under obligation to stop hearing the matter.
That's what Chibonga is my mate. You see, we're called to the bar the same day.
Okay,
he's a very good friend of mine. But I think that he'll be breaching the fair trial rules if he insists that in the absence of the lawyers, it's going to continue.
Really?
I think so.
Because I'm told there's actually there's actually a decided case.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
Yes.
the case is yours, but
Where the judge
there's
said,
also
look, with or without a lawyer.
But of course, in most cases, those things are set aside. Okay, and I agree it's your case.
Yeah.
But the Constitution also grants you the right to choose a lawyer to argue your cases for you. In this case, they have lawyers on record who have indicated their unavailability during the statutory vacation period. I'm saying all that has to be done is to grant them their right so that matters can be continued in the new term beginning October 1st. They can do 24-hour economy in that regard. I don't have any issues with that. But to insist that by all means they should come to the courts during vacation for these matters to be continued is really, really, really needless. And the brouhaha that is generating is completely unwarranted. I'm
just wondering, I mean, lawyers serve their clients, don't they? Anyway.
Yeah, but the lawyers serve their clients within rules.
Yeah, within rules. Yeah, I get it. I was just thinking.
They serve their clients within rules.
All right. Okay, so let me hear your thoughts on this matter, please.
Well, the first point I'd like to make is that judges are also citizens.
Yes.
Judges have rights which ought to be respected. Now, to glibly, and I mean glibly suggest that judges are in cahoots with government to achieve a political end without providing any substantial evidence, I think is reckless. Because the suggestion that, look, government is in a haste to prove that it's achieving the objective of its aura, and the judges are only, towing the line, is to suggest corruption on the part of the judges. And I don't think that this should be said lightly without the provision of concrete evidence.
Right.
You need to protect the rights of judges, also as citizens, and making unfounded, extremely reckless allegations against judges must be frowned upon. That's the first thing. Now, the second thing I'd like to touch on simply is this. I wonder if there's anybody in the legal profession or outside the legal profession who would argue that there's no right to speedy trial. Every accused person is entitled to speedy trial. Okay? Now, how do you have speedy trial in a situation where virtually you're talking about 4 to 5 months of the year is spent on vacation without making arrangements for the continuation of cases? That's a question we should all be answering. Every accused person, no matter what crime they have committed, are entitled to speedy trial. Now, all of these lawyers who are insisting on their right to vacation and so on, imagine if their clients had been unduly denied bail and they were in custody, would they have the same attitude? And if they had the same attitude, what would that say to their commitment to the protection of the rights of their clients? They're doing this because their clients are on bail. They're enjoying their liberty and so on. You understand? Imagine if we had a case in which their clients had somehow unlawfully been denied bail and were in incarceration. Would this be their attitude? And if this would not be their attitude, then let us test for consistency. Logical consistency and legal consistency. We need to test that. The other point I'd like to make simply is that legal vacations are no innovations. Throughout, they've always been legal vacations. Okay. Now, what is interesting is that vacation judges are entitled to their vacation after the statutory vacation. You understand what I'm saying? So, for example, the judge who is hearing the Dubuahini case is a vacation judge now.
Yes.
Okay. At the end of September, that is September 30th, that judge will take his vacation also.
Yes.
Which will last for 2 months.
Yes.
Okay. If that judge is not hearing cases before him or her now, it will mean that that case is being suspended for 4 months.
True.
When indeed the provisions for legal vacation envisages that the cases will be suspended for 2 months. In the case of vacation judges, if you make the argument that my brother and friend Egyapa is making, the cases will be suspended for 4 months.
Yeah.
What does that say about speedy trial? And what has this got to do with government agenda and judges pursuing government's agenda and so on? Absolutely nothing. Okay. Now, from the explanation of my brother Egyapa here is a very good lawyer. You know. Judges on vacation hear other cases from other courts, not regular cases. They hear injunctions, cases of injunctions and so on, you know, from other courts and so on. Let us assume that a judge, a vacation judge, doesn't have any of such cases before him or her. And it is possible. You cannot predict whether those cases will come up or will not come up. Yes. It depends on how things unfold in the course of the period. Okay. So if the judge is a vacation judge who would enjoy her vacation after September 30th, and those kinds of cases do not come before her, what do you expect her to do? Sit down idle, do nothing? Master, sit down idle and do nothing? So the logical scenario is that the judges will continue their own regular cases, and that if there are other cases of emergency nature, if there are other legal matters of emergency nature from other courts, because they are sitting, they can then address those in addition to their own cases before them. How is this a problem? How is this a problem? Now, there's a case of the suggestion that once the courts go on vacation, lawyers necessarily go on vacation. There's a problem with that. The duty of lawyers is not just to appear before courts. And Egyapa said that his own office is running, yes, you know, on skeletal basis as well. Yes. So lawyers have many other things to do. They simply do not go on vacation because the courts are on vacation. Right. You understand? And even if we assume that lawyers go on vacation with the judges and so on, by their own creed, their own oath, even if they're on vacation, once matters relating to the rights of their clients and so on come up, they are duty bound to appear before the courts. In any case, who determines dates for hearing of cases? Is it the lawyer or is the judge? Right. It's clear. The answer is clear. It is the judges who make a determination, not the lawyers. Absolutely. The lawyers don't tell the courts when to sit and when not to sit. That's the prerogative of judges. Absolutely. We are now getting into a situation where lawyers want to play the role of judges. And that's a problem. You understand? So, what is my view? I think that we should grant the judiciary the independence to do its work and not interfere with judicial independence. It's clear. Because he's been posing the question about why the haste. He's looking at the cases that have been listed to be adjudicated upon by the court, and he's asking, there's only 49 more days. So you're trying, wait, why the haste? Why those cases? Why? Speedy trial. Yes. It's in the interest of the accused persons too. Absolutely. Speedy trial. It's in the interest of, if I were accused and taken to a court, I would wish that the matter is gotten over with as quickly as possible. Especially when I know I'm innocent. Exactly. So who says that speedy trial is always against the interest of the accused person? It is not true. It cannot be true. That's true. In fact, accused persons should be fighting for speedy trial. Yeah. For speedy, you know, execution of justice. I agree. It's in the interest of the accused person. Unless you're saying that some delay endures to the benefit of the accused person, I don't know how that is possible. if anybody can make the argument that if we delay a case, the accused person benefits, how does the accused person benefit?
Unless logically the accused person doesn't think that they have a case. They think it's a bad case. Then you want it
I
delayed.
won't make the statement you are making.
Yes, I think it stands to reason.
I won't make.
If I don't feel that I'm innocent, then I would want the case to drag on.
Yeah, because the
but if I'm not innocent, I want the case. Yeah,
expeditiously. Every accused person, especially innocent accused person,
but there's another issue.
Want the cases to be dealt with expeditiously.
But there's another issue.
Yes, please.
Unless also the accused or the defendant is not convinced that they'll get a fair trial.
Master, if you will not get a fair trial, is it not better for the trial to be hastened so that you can go for appeal and get your rights?
Well, by the time you would be in Sawam.
Yeah, but then if you are not sure of a fair trial, if it's delayed, you will still be in Sawam.
Yeah, but yes, I know, but...
Or you are hoping that the judge will die if it's delayed so that you can get another judge. If you are not hoping that the judge will die, then if you have to go to Islam, the earlier you went to Islam,
the better.
Against the judgment, the better. Tell me, what is this argument?
Egyapa, look, he says it's also in the interest of the accused.
I don't have any difficulty with that.
For those trials to be done speedily.
Exception is everything. So there are in excess of 100,000
cases,
criminal cases that are pending before the courts. Right? So, look, and Kwesi, I agree. I'm a practitioner. And I think that the judicial system is the last bastion of protecting the rights of Ghanaian citizens. And so you notice the constraint that I have in speaking against the judiciary. I premise my comments with my personal relationship that I have with
the Chief Justice,
some of these individuals involved. And so I'll be the last to bastardize the justice delivery system. But I said, if you recall, that actions like this feeds into the public perception. And if you isolate the political cases and grant warrants to the vacation judges to continue, separate from every other case that is pending within the system, it has issues. That's why I'm saying that. What's the point, really?
But you also agree. But you also agree with me,
Kofi. Allow him to.
Let him ask his question. It's fine.
No, yes, I want to understand.
The point about the posture of the judiciary and how that feeds into a certain public perception. Mm-hmm. This public perception that keeps coming. I mean, it's not the first time. It's been with us for a very long time. Don't you blame the politicians for creating, feeding, and funding this public perception? Sometimes it doesn't even exist. Somehow, depending on who is adjudicating over a certain case and who the person is. Look, today, as we speak, the Ghana Bar Association has issued a statement. And do you know what's happening? People are tracing the president of the GBA, who her husband is, and so on and so forth. And that in itself has colored how the GBA's statement is being taken or is being perceived. So I'm saying that sometimes some of these perceptions we keep talking about are created by the politicians.
So if they are avoidable, and as far as I'm concerned, this is very avoidable. Why even create a fertile ground for it to take roots and continue within the space? You see, I agree. Fair trial and expeditious trial is desirable, no doubt. And I'm not so sure whether the fact that people or the lawyers are insisting that let's comply with the judicial calendar as we all know it, necessarily amounts to people having a fear of guilt, and so that then becomes a route to delay. I'm not so sure, because it was within the contemplation of the drafters of our rules, having in mind the need for expedition, having in mind the need for fair trial, that they still went ahead to establish a calendar for the judicial system, which includes vacations. Okay? And so, to insist that, look, defer the matter that is pending before the court to term time doesn't mean that anybody wants to run away. I'm coming. People plan their year.
Fair.
Some lawyers do not work during vacation at all. It is their right. He has cases, he goes to court, say, well, my lord, I'm not available during the vacation. Let's adjourn to the next side of the term. And courts are minded, as always, to grant them. Of course, if the judge is going on vacation, he's going to indicate that, well, hey, immediately after the legal vacation, I'm going to take my leave. And so I would ask counsel to make some accommodation, if possible, to let us deal with these matters, both in criminal and civil matters. It happens. But it's an agreement between the parties. It is not something that can be imposed, that if you don't show up, I'm going to proceed. I haven't heard it before. And so if the lawyers are saying that, look, my lord, we agree that you're going to go on vacation, too bad. The matter has to be deferred until your vacation is over and you come. So we continue to deal with it. In any event, the lawyers are going to be working. The other judges that are sitting, people have multiple cases that they deal with. So it's not as if to say that asking the matter to be deferred during the vacation will mean that the lawyers will have double vacation. No. On October 1st, people will resume the year and will go and attend to other matters. Of course, if these judges return from their leave post that, the matter can continue.
Okay.
So really, and I go back to the point. What's the haste?
Okay. I get. Let's take a break. We have to.
Very small point.
Small point.
But important. You know. Look, there's precedent.
Yes.
Of judges deciding to continue cases without the presence of legal counsel.
Yes.
And one of the precedents that I can remember very clearly is the Chatuchikata case.
Yes.
Don't forget, in the Chatuchikata case, the judge decided that in the absence of Mr. Chikata's lawyer,
one professor, something.
Yes, the case could continue, and that it didn't infringe on any law. Yeah. And there are many other cases like that.
Right.
Now, the second thing which is important is that there is no evidence that political cases have been deliberately isolated for continuation during the vacation. What has happened is that some judges have been designated vacation judges. And it just happened that those judges are handling some cases which some call political. And why do you call the case political? They are criminal cases. What is the political case in this?
In fact, it's called high-profile political cases. That's how they are described.
When there's a dictum,
yes,
that all of us are equal before the law,
yes,
how do you have high-profile cases and low-profile cases?
That's true.
As a lawyer,
we have to try and reconcile.
When you accept the dictum that everybody is equal before the law, how do you then turn around and say there are high-profile cases and low-profile cases?
Yeah, but I think
so the carpenter's case is low-profile.
Yes.
And the minister's case is high-profile.
Yes, sir.
How does the dictum,
in theory,
apply?
In theory, you are absolutely right that everybody is equal before the law. But in reality, there are some cases we'll call high-profile.
So in reality, you are not equal before the law. Is that what you're saying?
You see,
and is that what you expect a lawyer to say?
Well, we're supposed to be equal before the law.
Oh,
so we're supposed to be. Whether that is the case, that's another matter.
Okay, no
that's
problem.
another matter.
Before you go, just a quick. You see,
then you are not going anywhere.
Let it not be put out there that
right.
Chachu's case proceeded in the absence of counsel. It's not true. It was
Right.
just the delivery of the judgment. The trial throughout. Yes. It was the judgment.
Is the delivery of
Oh,
the
I'm
judgment
coming.
not part of the
But
process?
the lawyers don't make any representation. They are not cross-examining during delivery of judgment.
They plead for
So
mitigation.
please, yeah, I agree. I don't have a problem, but I'm saying that the trial itself took place in the presence of Chachu's lawyers. Fact. The judgment day was when the lawyer was absent.
Master,
So you can distinguish the two quite clearly. But to suggest that there's precedent that trial took place in the absence of lawyers, and you cite the Chachu Keta example, that's not entirely accurate.
Okay. Master.
Yes, sir.
Here is my brother and friend Egyapa. Separating the delivery of judgment from trial. Okay. How is that possible?
Okay.
How is that possible?
But judgments are delivered after the conclusion of trial.
But I've actually been wondering.
It is the judgments which conclude the trial.
Oh, please. But they are delivered on the conclusion of the trial.
No, the judgments are the conclusion of the trial.
Very well.
But you know that.
Okay. Yeah, it's okay.
All right. So would obviously following this Beku matter, I don't know, but it says that the U.S. investigators have flagged a consultancy agreement between Turkish energy company AXA Energy and a Ghanaian consultancy firm in which the former agreed to pay a whopping amount of $2 million to the latter. This was disclosed during a trial where a former Goldman Sachs Group Incorporated banker, Kweku Asante Beku, was convicted, among others, for paying bribes to NDC government officials to secure power deals. And in Ghana between 2014 and 2015, during President John Dramani Mahame's first term in office. Now, the SEC claimed that Beku facilitated up to $4.5 million US dollars in bribe payment on behalf of a Turkish energy company to win the contract. It goes on and on and on and on. The bankers began questioning the payment, specific information that was given, the alleged $50,000 it was payment, and so on and so forth. And we've also seen Dr. Kwabena Donko is a former power minister who has actually gotten his lawyer, a doctor, and that's Mr. K.T. Amon, to issue a statement saying that he's never met him, he has nothing to do with this, and so on. Well, what do you make of this, just briefly?
So, first of all, let me start with the complaint.
Okay.
I mean, I've been appealing to you.
Yes, sir.
To just play
right.
The jingle on the centenary of it.
Oh, yes. Oh.
And the event is tomorrow.
It's tomorrow. Actually, no, we played it yesterday, Kwesi, to be honest with you. We played it yesterday. Well, no, we have to play it this morning. We played it yesterday. I don't know why they didn't play it today.
I thought that you would do me that.
Oh, I beg you. Let me ask them to play it, in fact, before we close. I beg you, Pa. It was played yesterday, to be honest.
Okay.
Yes.
No problem.
Please go ahead.
Now, the conviction in the U.S.
Right.
Was done on evidence. And apparently, the chap who has been convicted, Beku, left too many trails.
Okay.
Emails, letters, and so on. And it was on that basis that he was convicted. You understand? The problem is that as of now, based on all that I've read, there's no concrete evidence that he paid any monies as bribes to anybody.
Right.
You understand? There's no evidence. It's his word. There's no receipt. There's no transfer into bank accounts of the persons he alleges he paid bribes to, and so on. So it's just his word. And I'm wondering if it is possible to proceed on the basis of just the word, of a convicted person. That's one.
Okay.
The other thing that makes me happy is the fact that relevant institutions have started investigations into the matter.
Right.
I'm told that Yoko, for example, is trying very hard, to find whatever evidence it can find. I'm confident that if there's anything in this matter, it will be unearthed through the Yoko investigation. So it's a matter of waiting to see. You understand? So we are all waiting with bated breath.
Okay. All right.
It's strange how Senior commences his comments by saying that there is no evidence of payments, no receipts, no transfers for the people that he allegedly made those payments to. But the emails emanated from either him or from some other persons to him, rendering accounts of how much.
The emails were between him and the people who were supposed to be paying the bribe, not the recipients. I've looked at the emails.
But you see, I'm not so sure whether anybody will receive bribes via an issue receipt or via bank transfers. I'm not so sure that anybody will do that. And so, to that extent, expecting to see receipts and proof of transfers really would be asking for too much.
Except that in the case of the person who has been convicted, he actually issued receipts.
Of course.
So it is not true that those dealing with bribe money don't issue receipts.
The assertion is that he was working through some companies that have been set up as conduit. And if the person who is making the payments, in this case, AXA, is accountable to its directors and shareholders, they want some proof that these payments have been made through these companies. And so that one there, being issued receipts wouldn't be far-fetched. For the purpose for which those monies have been paid would not indicate bribes, right? For purposes of their accounting. It probably will indicate consultancy fee payments or something. I don't know. But you see, the larger question that we ought to be asking is, how is it that in cases such as these large power procurement regimes, large public procurement transactions, acquisition of aircrafts, and all that, we hear of these kinds of schemes playing out?
It's simple.
Tell me.
All these giant companies have a component of their expenditure for these purposes. But usually they are classified as consultation.
Ways and means.
Consultations.
Yeah, consultations.
All these giant companies, all of them, without exception.
So is it the case that...
So it's industry practice.
Yeah. Okay, so is it the case then that public officials are induced by these standard practice, industry standard practice payments to award these contracts to these companies?
Well, you can logically come to that without any proof, but...
No, the companies desire to do that.
To that, yes.
As to whether public officials accept...
It's another matter.
It's another matter.
That's true.
Yes, that's what
true.
I'm saying.
In fact, the guy in court...
This Surgeo Ramos role that you are playing is surprising. You are not a public officer. So let's interrogate the issue. Because, look, you see...
Oh, Master, but why should
I'm coming.
Why should they be asking somebody like me this question? Egyapa, you have been minister before.
Yes, I agree.
You've dealt with this situation.
Well,
you should know whether when you were a minister, these things came your way or didn't come.
I was just asking.
I've never been a minister before.
You see,
and perhaps we'll never be before.
That's why I said that we need to ask the broader questions.
Why do these things keep happening?
That why do they keep recurring? Why do we keep hearing these kinds of things? That's the case that people just formulate these schemes and make claims on the bidding companies and pocket it.
Yeah.
Or that, in fact, they induce public officials in actually awarding these contracts to them. It's a difficult one.
Very.
But to suggest that the relevant institutions have begun working, strange. When, in fact, the U.S. Justice Department says that they worked with Ghanaian institutions in unraveling some of these evidence that was used in prosecuting the case. So at what point are they now coming to engage in some investigation here in Ghana when they've already worked with the U.S. authorities in doing the case in America.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to read what Martin Amidu, the former special prosecutor, has written.
Right.
And as far as he's concerned, when these matters came up right from the very beginning, some investigation was started. Why it left the updates that the special prosecutor's office was churning out from time to time comes as strange to him. Okay. But it will be interesting to see what the investigative authorities here in Ghana will come up with. Because yes, I've read Kwabena Donkor's statement, Dr. Kwabena Donkor's statement that was issued through Katie Amond. And I'm constrained in passing any judgment, on whether indeed and in fact the payments that are alleged to have been made, the 1 million that is alleged to have been made to this government official actually reached him, or that somebody took it in his name and didn't get to pay the money to him.
Right.
Let's see how it plays out.
Okay.
But we should all be concerned that in transactions of this nature, consistently, when the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act is triggered, especially when American companies or American finance houses or some other American citizens are involved, is increasingly churning out these allegations against public officials.
That's a concern, I agree.
In our country. We should be concerned.